If YouTube videos were honest, so if I were to tell you that I wanted you to subscribe to my channel, the reason would be because I want to release dopamine through a series of successes because that's the way that neuroplasticity works. I don't actually have any real reason. It's all just electronic signals inside my brain. It's all just hormones, happy hormones, neuroplasticity. That's all it is. If you look at me, you see a person. But inside of me, inside of every single person that's ever existed, there is this universe of pathways inside of your brain that's been there ever since you were born, and it has grown for years. So if I wanted you to actually sub to me, it would serve you no purpose whatsoever, aside from building your neurological pathways if you actually wanted to. Now, what's funny about this, though, is that you don't understand how neurological pathways work. You don't understand how happy hormones work. You don't understand how stress hormones work. You have no clue. You don't realize that anyone that does understand those things can literally play you to the death. Like, you're literally just an instrument that we can all play. You're just a computer that once you figure out the rules, anyone can play you. That's how marketing works. That's how anything works with psychology and another human being taking advantage of another person. We don't like to call it that or manipulating or whatever, but it ends up being this system where we basically trick each other while trying to not make it blatantly obvious that we're tricking each other. So on this video, there would have been a thumbnail and a title that you clicked. I haven't made it yet. I don't even know what it's going to say. I have no clue. Doesn't matter. But whenever I do write it, I'm going to intentionally try to, pardon my language, fuck with your head as much as humanly possible. So you can't make it too clickbaity, because then you'll obviously know that that's not what it's about. And I'm not about, me, the David, the construct that makes me me, is not about being ingenuine or about clickbaiting people into watching videos that they shouldn't actually watch or aren't going to be useful. They're not going to be helpful. My motivation isn't to give you dopamine. My motivation is to give you serotonin. And this is where I haven't been making videos. It's just so conflicting, because there's this world that we live in now where everyone's on, not everyone, but most people are on their cell phones in this world of dopamine addiction, where it's like everyone has ADD or ADHD constantly and can't actually focus or appreciate anything. And I go on the internet and you see dopamine this, dopamine detox, dopamine, 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 but no one's ever talking about serotonin. Like, no one's talking about it. It's hilarious to me that you'll go on the internet and see, oh, these people are talking about be more masculine, go to the gym and you can get girls. It'll work. It's going to be awesome. You're going to be so happy. You're going to be so rich. You're going to be so happy. It's going to be so great. But the reality is they don't understand the constructs behind what they're saying. Like, I'm just picking on this because the first thing that came to mind. I have no notes. I have no outline. I've got nothing. I'm walking into this thinking if YouTube videos were honest, and I'm here to give you the best, most honest video that I can come up with off the top of my head. This is all written in my subconscious. It's going to come out in whatever order it just happens to come out. And you are literally interacting right now with my subconscious. You're not interacting with Dave, the defensive ego. You're interacting with my subconscious right now. I'm unleashing that because I understand this is what this channel needs to be about. It needs to be about raw brain porn, essentially. Not sexual things, but everyone needs to have their brain, my old boss would call it fluff their bunny. They need to be treated a certain way. But it's kind of funny that no one ever looks at it. It's just brain psychology. It's just brain stuff. And once you understand how to fuck with people's brains, you can make them feel terrible if you really wanted to, or you can make them feel the most amazing that they've ever felt in their entire lives. And that's where I really get excited, because this game that I've been playing for years, I was a brainless, mindless NPC for at least 30 years of my life. At least. Like, you didn't think of anything. You just accept everything as it is, and you just go, I go to work, I need money, and I'm never going to be anything or go beyond what I am now. But what you realize is that it's all just a game of brain chemistry. It was literally Tom Bayou that I heard that from in 2017, and he doesn't really talk about it the way that I'm going to talk about it. And he didn't really develop it in any of the other videos that I saw, but it always hit me. It's like, if you were to ask why do you do something, And then you go the next why, the next why, the next why. How many whys can you actually get down before you got down to the root cause of why you feel the way that you do in any given situation or circumstances? And I'm going to keep saying it, neuroplasticity and hormones. And I'll touch on this real quick. That's not all it is. That's just face value, easy, trying to make it as simple to understand as humanly possible. But it's not just that. You need to also have a great diet. You're basically a chemistry set, and if your chemistry is all messed up, you're going to have chaos. If you have great chemistry and you understand what you're doing and you know how to play your biology, then you can be healthy. And it's a relative term, but marketing, they're more about getting your dopamine receptors going crazy and sucking you into that lifestyle. And it's an endless lifestyle of just chasing dopamine forever. And the problem with dopamine that everyone gets wrong, and I've literally watched hundreds of videos and talked about this topic forever, and it's never seen the way that I see it. Imagine that you have a neurological pathway that's being created. Have you ever noticed that the first time you do something, the first time you really do something that you love and enjoy, it feels better than it ever will ever again. And you're going to spend a lot of time trying to recreate that. Some people aren't as addictive to trying to recreate things, other people are. I happen to be someone that whenever I experience something, I like to go back to it and go, can I redo that again? Can I feel that way again? Imagine a song. The first time you heard it, if it was an amazing song, I don't know if you're a binge listener, I am, but what happens is that neurological pathway gets created and that dopamine gets released like crazy. And that pathway, you get that reward for creating it. And the creation is where the most dopamine really is, in my opinion. In my experience, I've tested it on myself, and I've tried my best to ask and understand others and how they perceive this process. And whenever I'm talking about happiness, I'm not gonna bullshit you and go all the traditional do these things, be mindful, do things that you're passionate about, work on your hobbies, love others. Like, you can talk all those surface level ideas, but what happens is there's so much more underneath it that you don't understand that's going on in the world that's in your head. And no one ever talks about those things. They go, it's doctor talk. I can't talk like that because that's how doctors talk. And I'm not a doctor. I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be able to say what I want to say without the legal repercussions of that entire thing. And if you want to listen to me, sure. But if not, then don't. It is what it is. This channel, my avatar, niche, whatever you want to call it, is actually people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, which I heard from Les Brown in 2017, that don't know what they want to do with their lives. They've already tried everything that they think works, and they're in a sense of lack of interest in not misunderstanding of what's going on. Like, I imagine your stereotypical person will look at their phone constantly. They will be not involved in the real world quite so much. Like, their bodies will go through the motions, but their passion, who they really are, isn't really there, isn't really in it. There's always this world inside their head that's always spinning, but you don't actually get to touch it the way that you would imagine you would. And it's the secret world that we're all living in. Like, right now, I'm revealing my secret world to you. This is a world that I live in my head, and I can't talk about these things in the general public. I can't do it. So the whole point of me even doing this now, I've realized that I'm my own niche. Like, no one else is going to talk about these topics the way that I talk about it. And the odds are 99% of you aren't going to agree with me. This is all going to be an extreme shock. It is going to be like the Matrix whenever Neo finds out that it's the Matrix. And you're going to go, this is just a fad thing. This isn't real. This is bullshit. He's crazy. He's insane. So either I'm insane and I've been dwelling on the same idea for the past 8 years now, or the opportunity exists that I could change history. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by I could change history? Like, what kind of insane narcissistic fuck would think that they have any potential whatsoever to affect the world? Right now, I believe that I have no effect whatsoever on anything. It doesn't matter. So at this point, I can make a video about whatever, and there's no risk. It doesn't matter. No one cares. I don't know if anyone that genuinely has any interest in my life or me or what I do, and that's fine. I don't have an interest in your life either, to be completely honest. Literally, what I'm looking for is people that would sub but would also want to change their lives. And when they change their lives, I don't mean changing one habit here, changing another habit there. I mean completely redefining the way that you think and absorbing the way that I think, if you agree that it works for you. So what am I selling? What am I really pitching? What is this framework? What is this idea? I'll be as clear as I possibly can on what this idea, how it works, what the structure is. The idea is, at the beginning of time, you were just a baby and you learned things through your environment. You learn things out of habits. You learn things from your natural instincts. And at no point during that time was anyone instructing you on how to operate a mammal brain. You are a mammal. It's true. You can say that you're smarter and better and whatever than a mammal or an animal, whatever you want to say, but you run off of the hormones that animals run off of. And because they can't talk to each other and they can't interact the same way that human beings can, they use those hormones in order to feel good about something or feel bad about something. So, for example, if they see a threat, danger, they're going to feel cortisol and they're going to feel the urge to run. They're going to feel the urge, their heart rate's going to increase. They're going to be physiologically ready to defend and protect themselves in this event. In real life, we don't have anything going on like that unless you live in a war zone or it's extremely dangerous. There's a lot of circumstances that could be bad. But for the majority of people that would be watching this video that speak English, have internet access, you don't really have any real problems. They're all in your head. And your cortisol levels and adrenaline and all that, if you don't understand how to manage and affect those things, they can run your life. And what I want to help you understand is that it's all just almost a binary game. If you get this input of stress, it's going to create a neurological pathway or build on one that you already have, and it's going to say, this makes me stressed out. And next time that you think about that situation or scenario or the feeling or whatever, you're going to avoid it. You're going to go, I don't want anything to do with that. But what if all these situations are misread? You have another part of your brain that is extremely intelligent, able to sort through all sorts of problems. And what happens is you get caught in the middle of these two things. You get caught of, I feel this way, this is going on, but I know this is right over here. And a lot of us, we go with the animalistic part because it's easier, but we also don't want to own up to it and say that's why we do that. I've spent infinity days, like, I know it's an exaggeration, but it feels like an uncountable amount of days of my life doing literally nothing. And if you were to ask me, why did you do nothing? And I'd go, because it feels the best. I have no cognitive load to wear me down. I don't feel stressed out. I don't feel anything. I just feel like I exist. And I hate to say it, but being content is literally riding the fine line between stress and happiness. It's not happiness, but it's not stress. And for the bulk of the world, I imagine that's as best as it gets for most people. But what I've learned is that you need to accept the stress and you need to accept the happy hormones in order to create the neurological pathways in your head that over the long term can actually give you the brain that gives you the ideas and the feelings that you want to have. And the happy hormones, once you understand what they are, how they work, why they exist in the first place, you'll start to see things the next time that you smile at another person or they smile at you. I want you to pay close attention to the oxytocin that is in your body. I want you to feel that feeling of, it's very difficult to put into words. It's like trying to explain a smell to somebody that's never smelled anything. But we've all experienced it. It's almost like your consciousness, not consciousness, that's a terrible word. It's like this, see how hard it is one word? Warm feeling that's inside of you that it gives you the confidence to lean into it. I think that happiness boils down to confidence. And what do I mean by that? Imagine that your brain is essentially a prediction machine. That's all it does. It records things, assigns emotions to them, and then you learn a lesson or not. And next time that you're in a situation that's similar, your brain's going to go, what are the odds of success in this situation? I know what already happened. And most of us are really good about not getting ourselves in bad situations because we've learned our lessons. We know we don't quit our jobs when they're comfortable because it's too risky to go get another job. We don't leave our significant others when it's definitely not going to work anymore because it's too hard. We'll just wait until something terrible happens. I know not everyone's like that, but some people are, and it's just a limiting belief or limiting mindset that has a very negative effect over the long term. Now, what could you actually do whenever you change your mindset to what I would ultimately be proposing? What you do is you start to see the world through these hormones, and you start to see how much is bullshit and how much is actually just human idea constructs that people have developed because they just have so much free time on their hands. Like right now, I'm making this video because I have so much free time on my hands. I don't work. This is my job now. So, hi, welcome. This is my first day of work. Um, like, this is what I'm gonna do. I literally want to help as many people find the happiness that they need, and I want to tell them that it doesn't have to do with having an insane amount of money. It doesn't have to do with having an insane amount of people to interact with. It's about creating the mind that you want to live with every single day, and it's entirely possible if you just work on it. But if you heard me just now and it gave you adrenaline, cortisol, you wanted to argue with me, I want you to go in the comments and just argue with me about whatever you want. I don't care. I need to understand other people better than I've ever understood anything in my entire life. And this is why I'm reaching out to YouTube and social media and all that. It's got a lot of different motivations. One of them is I want dopamine. The other one's I want oxytocin. I want to interact with people. I want to find people that are like thinkers. I want to talk about these things. I want to solve happiness. And it's not necessarily just happiness. It's more of like overall well-being for everybody. I don't want anyone to be able to be manipulated by marketing. I don't want you to be able to be manipulated by your significant other. I don't want anyone to be able to manipulate anyone else unfairly ever again. I want you to be able to see through human motivation and learn how to ask the questions in order to get to the bottom of understanding how people are and the way that they act and the way that they behave. I would also introduce you to all the things about self-improvement that I've found to be useful. A lot of it's just nonsensical bullshit, but there's a lot of ideas that I've learned from Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Earl Nightingale. That when you sift through all of the nonsense that a lot of the things talk about, you can get to very strong concepts that before I knew anything about this neuroplasticity and happy hormones and all that, it prepared me for this mental journey of I'm gonna do this until I die, and I don't have anything else really new to live for. And all that's left is saying and over and over and over again, pausing, looking up to the side, and I just want to have a good time doing this, and I want to help as many people as I possibly can. And I don't know how to tell you this, but if you really, really, really are serious about being happy in a way that is not possible any other way on Earth, I've not found it. And I've been scouring this planet, talking to doctors, talking to, reading books, watching YouTube videos, watching any documentary I possibly can. And I'm going to tell you that nobody has it right. I'm looking you right in the eyes right now. I'm telling you, no one, aside from me, has it right. Challenge me. Tell me I'm wrong. I'll make a video about anything that anyone challenges, and I will tell you how you are wrong in the construct of happiness as it pertains to biology and overall quality of experience as being a human being in this body that we're all trapped in. We're all just an operator in a brain that's observing these five senses and all the other things that are going on in us. And I want to teach you how to be the best operator of that system. You can call it a soul, you can call it whatever you want, I don't care. But I'm here to help you. If you want to fight with me, go for it. If you want to argue, fine. Just ignore me if you don't actually care about any of this kind of stuff. Most people don't, so I expect nothing to come out of this. I expect to be challenged. But I hope that by the time that I die, there's enough people that can think in a way that they're as happy as a human being can possibly be in every single situation. And that's not impossible, because even in the worst situations, you can still be the happiest that you possibly can. And I've learned how to do that. And this little video that I'm going to put at the end of this is going to show you a real life situation where I was totally fucked and it was the worst time that I could have possibly imagined, but it ended up working out. And here's that video, and it was one of the best days of my life. If you actually like this and think other people would like it, then like it. If you would actually subscribe and watch more videos that are like this, I don't want you to watch it about specific topics. This channel is about the niche of me. David thinks about stuff totally different than everyone else does, and you're not going to find this anywhere else. So if you're into those things, go ahead and do that. And if you're able to talk with me on this level playing field, you think that you resonate with me, you're the kind of person that you hear what I say and it matters, it makes sense to you, then absolutely reach out to me. The links and all that are in the description, whatever. I'm looking to build basically a new business eventually that redefines the world of psychology, life coaching, whatever, but I want it to be something that's digestible for everybody. I want people 150, 200 years from now thinking in a way that everyone is not taking advantage of, and they understand the mechanical system that they're driving around with their brain, and understand how the brain works too. That's all I got, and I'm not even gonna bother editing anything out. I don't care. If you don't like it, then it's whatever. All right, see ya. So David, today is a very special day, because today is the first day in recent history that you lived a day that you did not plan, in the universe essentially did whatever it was going to do. So you're broke down here right now, and you're in Wyoming. Just found this hat. Horseshoe Foundations, whatever that is. Kaylee's over there, Mom's here, Rod's down the street. It's like, I feel alive. I feel alive. I didn't feel alive until right now. I'm sorry I'm being all emotional about it. It's just really weird. Like, you fantasize about this stuff, but you don't ever do it because it's like so risky and fucked up. You're like, I gotta stay safe. But this is happening right now. And I'm telling you, you're the happiest you've been in a long time. Just because it's random. It's just something you don't expect. You don't know what's gonna happen. Like, fuck. I'm back by Kaylee.